In this video, we're going to look at different topics that you must prepare as far as your exam is concerned. We're going to look at the first topic, which is how to use a discriminant and get to know how curves get to intersect. Question 1, we are told a line with equation y equals to k x minus k, where k is a positive constant, is a tangent to the curve whose equation is equal to y is equal to negative 1 over 2x. Find in either order the value of k and the coordinates of the point where the tangent meets the curve. So the first thing that we need to identify here is that these curves are going to intersect. So first we are going to let me just draw a curve to represent whatever information that we're talking about. So we have a straight line, and then we have this equation which is y equals to kx minus k. Then we have the curve which touches this line at one specific point. That's why we're saying now this is a tangent, which is y equals to negative 1 over 2x. Now, since these two curves, these two lines are going to, a line and the curve are going to intersect, it means that we are going to equate the two parts of the equal equations so that we can be able to solve. So having this, we can be able to rearrange this so that we have a quadratic equation. And remember, now we need to find the discriminant. And the discriminant, when you are talking of a tangent to a curve, is equal to 0. So we're going to say the discriminant equals to 0 because this curve is going to touch the line at one specific point because it's a tangent. So when you find the discriminant, you get it to be negative 2k because a discriminant is calculated by the formula b squared minus 4ac. So substituting the value of b, a, and c into the formula of a discriminant, we're going to get this particular equation, whereby we're going to simplify this further and have 4k squared minus 8k equals to 0. Simplifying this, we're going to have to factor out 4k and we're going to remain with 4k into k minus 2 equals to 0. So this implies that 4k equals to 0 or k minus 2 equals to 0. And this will mean that k is either 0 or k equals to 2. So we are going to take k equals to 2 because if you try to substitute the value of k back to the equations, you will find that these equations are going to disappear. For instance, the equation of a straight line was kx minus k. So if you substitute k is 0, you are not going to have that equation there. So the value of k in this case for the equations to be valid is k equals 2. Now, having that, we can be able to substitute the value of k and get to know the kind of equation that we are having. So for instance, y equals to kx, that's going to be y equals to 2. All right, so we can all right, let us substitute first into the equation, and if you try to solve this equation that we are having here using a quadratic formula, we are going to simplify this as shown here, and then our value of x is going to be equal to a half. So having the value of x, we can be able to find the value of y because we are asked to find the coordinate of the point of intersection. All right, so going to one of the equation, y equals to negative 1 over 2x. Since we know the value of x is this, we can be able to substitute it here, and if we work it out, we're going to get y equals to negative 1. So the coordinate of this particular point, the point of intersection of these two, is going to be xy, and this coordinate is going to be have negative 1 as the final answer because you are told to find the value of k and also to find the coordinate of the point of intersection. If you are finding value from Proflan YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that at any time we're going to upload future tutorials, you'll be notified. Also, you can be able to share this video to your friends. All right, let's continue to the next part. And the next part of the question, we are going to look at circular measure. You can be told to work out the perimeter of a figure. For instance, we're supposed to work out the perimeter of the sector ABC, and we are given the radius of the sector is 8 centimeters, and the area of the sector is given as 16 over 3 pi centimeter square, whereby we have a point D which lies on BC. So in order to work out this, the first thing that we are going to do is to work out the value of the angle theta here. And to get the angle there, we're going to use the formula area equals to a half theta r squared. Remember, the angle that we are talking about here is going to be in radians. So if it's in radians, we are going to use this formula. We are given the area, we know the radius, we can make theta the subject of the formula, or we can even substitute the values that we have so that we can be able to rearrange that equation and then get to work this out. We can multiply by 2 both sides so that 2 and 2 will cancel out, and this is going to end up 32 over 3 pi equals to 64. Yeah, we divide by 64 both sides, because if you square 8, you're going to get 64 theta. Then we divide by 64, or you can multiply by 1 over 64 both sides, and we can be able to cancel 32 and 64, and the final answer becomes 1 over 6 pi as the value of theta. Now that we have the angle, we can be able to work out the length of the chord BC, because we are finding the perimeter of CBD. Let us now work out the chord of BC, that straight line. So we need to draw a line like that. So we need this particular part so that we can be able to use this information to work out. Yeah, so I'm writing 1 over 3 pi, because if you subdivide this angle, the angle we got it 1 over 6 pi. A half of 1 over 6 pi is 1 over 3 pi. So we can be able to extrapolate that triangle and draw that triangle, the right angle triangle there. That is 8 centimeters. Then we have this x. So we can be able to use trigonometry. Sine theta equals to opposite of hypotenuse. Our opposite is x, hypotenuse is 8. So which implies that x is going to be equal to 8 sine 1 over 3 pi. So if you work it out, you are going to get your answer as, just use your calculator. We give it correct to 2 decimal places as 6.93 centimeters. So this is that particular part. So the entire of it up to that end, we're going to multiply this by 2, and that's going to turn out to be 13.86 centimeters. So once we have the length BC, which is 13.86, we need to find the arc length BDC. So we're going to use the formula arc length S. Arc length S equals to theta times the radius, and this is the formula that you must know how to apply as you are preparing for your exams. And then this is going to become 1 over 6 pi times 8. If you simplify that, we're going to get what? 4.19. Then perimeter will be distance all round, so we shall add 13.86 plus 4.19, and this is going to translate to 18.05 centimeters. 18.05 centimeters as our final answer. All right, now once we've gone through that, you need also to remember how to work out question to do with sequence and series. Sequence and series, we learned about geometric sequence and also arithmetic sequence. So the first part, we are told the 3 terms of an arithmetic progression are p squared over 6, 2p minus 6, and p. Given that the common difference of the progression is not 0, find the value of p. Now, for you to find the common difference, remember is the number in front minus the number before that. So it will be 2p minus 6 minus p squared over 6 equals to p minus 2p minus 6. All right, so that's what we have. So if you multiply by 6 all through so that we can get rid of the fraction, and try to rearrange this so that we can be able to form a quadratic equation. Let us rearrange this, and I believe you can be able to follow what exactly I'm doing here. We end up having p squared minus 18p plus 72 equals to 0. That is the quadratic equation that we have. Now here you can be able to use any method of solving quadratic equation. You can use a completing square method, you can use factorization, you can be able to use also a quadratic formula in order to solve this. So let us go ahead for simplicity and use let us use a quadratic formula so that we can simplify this and get to know what the value of p is. So if you simplify this further, you are going to get your final answer, p equals to 6 or 12. But you have to check which value, because you are told the common difference is not 0. So you try to substitute back so that you can be able to see which value is going to work out. Are we going to take P6 or are we going to take P12? So if you take 6 and you try to substitute, you end up having 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. So meaning that the common difference is 0. So this value is not acceptable. We are not going to take P equal to 6. The value we take there is going to be 12. So our common difference, our value of P is 12. Then let us see the next question, what it expects us to do. Because in this first question, we are supposed to find the value of P as 12. We check in the next question. Now, we are going to use the value of P that we have gotten here so that we can be able to treat this as a geometric progression. And with the first two terms, P squared over 6 plus, or next term is 2P minus 6. Now, using this, we can be able to find the sum to infinity. How do we get the sum to infinity? We're going to use this formula. S to infinity equals to the first term A over 1 minus the common difference. Yeah, remember, for you to get the sum to infinity, the values must be converging. So that's the formula that we learned. And A is the first term, R is the common difference. So we have to substitute the value of P that we had gotten into this and then get the common difference. In this case, the common difference is going to be equal to 18 over 24, and that is going to be 0.75. Now, once we have gotten the common difference and we know the first term is 24, we can be able to say the sum to infinity is 24 over 1 minus 0.75. If you do that, you are going to get your final answer as 96. If you add all the sum up to infinity, it's going to be 96. So this is just but the beginning, because we're going to do more tutorials on the same and all the topics that you are going to expect. So if you have not subscribed, consider subscribing so that in time I'm going to upload more tutorials, you'll be notified. See you. Thank you for being a good prof learner. All the best.